For me, he was the perfect husband, and I prepared him up to the way that I told him how I wanted him to react on my emotional behaviors. In English?
In English, please.
Perfect. So, my name is Meriam, and I'm 34 years old. I am from Belgium, Brussels, and I have a little boy, Miled, who is 10 months now.
And do you have a partner? Did you have the baby yourself with a partner?
I forgot him at the moment of birth, but yes, I have a partner, and we are married and together now for 11 years. Super pregnancy, very. I thought I was prepared for everything, as I'm the youngest of 5 who all have children, so I was ready for it. Everything was settled. Had the boy, came back home, and then I was super surprised by a feeling that I couldn't explain or couldn't categorize. After reading, I understood it was the baby blues. So although I had a lot of support, sisters, a supportive husband, people coming in physically to help me. I'm talking about cleaning ladies, these ladies who came and take your child for 4 hours a day. It was all there, but it was a feeling inside. For me, I defined, because I started reading and I defined and started analyzing myself, why do I feel like that? Because you should be happy, you have a boy. And I understood that for me, it was the massive change of being Meriam, myself, and daughter of, and wife of, to you are only, in my head, the mom of Miled, who's my boy. So I was going from a working, ambitious, social wife to in service of a child that you at that point do not yet understand, you don't know what they want, and to someone who is at home, and the schedule was defined by this little boy who was only there for 2 weeks, the day that I got home. So voila. So what helped me get out of the baby blues was, after I understood I had it and that I was not crazy, I went into phase 2 saying, okay, what is blocking me? Why do I feel isolated? And there is a lot of pressure of breastfeeding. So I was breastfeeding, but it was not an easy journey. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but it was not an easy journey. And I decided, with the support of my husband, that after only 8 weeks of breastfeeding, I stopped completely. I stopped completely, and that was for me one massive change of, I'm in service of this baby and I need to give my breasts whenever he or she wants it. It's a he in my case. Whereas I'm free to go and I have my bottle. Let's move. This was my main first change that I did for me, because for me, I understood that that was a main blocking point. Why did I decide to stop breastfeeding? Is because I was basically homebound, because sometimes they have jumps and then they need to eat every hour and you already go crazy because they need to eat every hour. Nevertheless, when they're on your breast, you cannot move. And we decided to do that because it's a whole organization. You need to breastfeed, you need to clean everything, and then you need to pump if you want to be organized. But I was not realizing that it was such an organization. So when I was getting calls from friends, come over, have a coffee, and I realized that I was blocked. And even though my husband was like, go, you can go, leave the baby with me. No, I cannot, because I didn't pump and he needs to breastfeed. We do not know when he will breastfeed. So this was for us one big reason of why we decided to switch completely to bottled milk. I'm smiling because indeed you have 2 husbands, and that's in the whole phase. Is you have one husband during pregnancy, they are present, but that's it. And it's the only thing they can do, and this is good because the baby is inside of the woman. But I think what's important for me was he was going to all the echoes with me. He was going shopping for some things, and when I was organizing the house, he was saying, you did it well, even though we all do it, the moms do it. I'm like, oh yeah, you did it well. So he was just being present, listening. Sometimes I was having nervous breakdowns, saying I could not be a mom. What did I do? Yes, during my pregnancy, my last month, I remember I cried 2 days before going into the hospital because I was induced, so I had my date, and I cried to my sisters and I said, what did I do? I cannot be a mom. I do not know how to handle it, because also I was two Meriams, but we can explain later. I was a Meriam during my pregnancy, and I was a completely different Meriam when I became a mom. But going back to my husband, during pregnancy, present, but I took a lot of time in explaining him the steps that will happen. So I had a prepared husband. I didn't want him to be surprised. He knew about the baby blues. He knew about the pains that we maybe couldn't sit or couldn't go to the bathroom alone. He knew that we will have difficult nights, that he would be needing to do the turning with me. He knew a lot. So for him, I think there was not a lot of surprises because we are still the main figure and he's the side person. Whereas for the mommy, we get the full surprise. We are at the same time a support for the child, and we are a full support for the husband that I had pre-prepared. So for me, he was the perfect husband in my eyes. And I prepared him up to the way that I told him how I wanted him to react on my emotional behaviors. And of course, he was a big support for me, but he also had his support, which was his mom. So his mom was very present for him, reassuring him as well on the other side that my behavior was normal. And also, to be honest, I was checking with him every night. When the baby was sleeping, I was also asking him, how's it going? Are you feeling okay? Because I prepared him, yes, I told him how I wanted him to react, but I cannot know how he will feel. So I was always cross-checking. For me, communication when having a baby is key. We are different. A man is a man and a woman is a woman. We need to communicate. I think what was difficult is missing and not knowing where to look for information, because you do not know it exists. So when you do not know it exists, you will not go and look for it. So you have to wait until you experience it, which is not a good thing, and then someone, pediatrician or the midwife, will tell you, but by the way, I had a patient who, and these things you need to know before, because it helps you. And I think this is something that would help a lot of people, is one source. We need to know where to go, like a search engine, such as Hapiklan, for example, and then we know where to find everything. Before pregnancy, my strategy was to find out all the help I could get and inform myself. So I really went from visiting midwives, visiting pediatricians, visiting pharmacists, everybody who could help me prepare myself, whether it was mentally or practically. So this is one thing that reassured me. So if I could give one advice to everyone, is do what I did and try to find all the help you need. And these ladies were coming in to help 4 hours every day. You can choose every day, 2 days. I had them 2 to 3 days a week, 4 hours, a block of 4 hours. And this maternity care is linked to the mom. You can go out, have a coffee, you can sleep, you can do nothing. And it is okay to do nothing. So again, I cannot emphasize a lot on it. Find out which help you can get, because there is so much, but it's not clear, really. First of all, what helped me a lot, I think, was I was communicating it openly to it. When people were calling me, my friends, and they say, so, how are you doing? How's the baby doing? Because of course, every talk goes about the baby, whereas you get lost, which was not helping my baby blues. So I was always telling them that I was not feeling happy. I didn't feel connected with this baby. I felt lost. I didn't know who I was. So by explaining them, I first of all realized that they went through the same thing. So they were starting to reassure me and saying that it is normal. You feel like that. You will cry every day, because I was crying every day when my husband was coming from work. I was crying. This was the main thing. I started talking openly about it, and then I had never heard about this before. They confirmed me that they had the same. And it took them, first me to speak before they confirmed it to me. So this was my main thing, was confirmation of you're not crazy and you're not alone, basically. What it did to me, getting all this help in the different phases, was, as I mentioned before, it allowed me to be me and to stay me. Because again, you become a mom and that's the label you get, you're the mom of. But now it allowed me to be mom of, wife of, daughter of. And this help that I got during, after, and before just allowed these three labels to merge and made me happy again. If I would do it all over again, I wouldn't change anything. I would even exceed in a sense, where I would again get all the help I could get before, during, and after, and I will even now try to find even more help for all these three phases.